Hope y'all are doing great today. Today we got the Angels, Los Angeles Angels, year 2 with no Shohei. I know it's very sad, Angels fans, but there's still a little bit of a silver lining. You know, you got some players. You still got Mike Trout. There's a chance he bounces back. He's going to be healthy to start the year. We're going to go over the Angels preseason projection. Once again, thank you to Fangraphs for the projections. Thank you to our wonderful team for the predictions. If you're an Angels fan or if you just want to give your input on the Los Angeles Angels, leave a comment below. We would love to start a dialogue with y'all. Starting off with who they added in free agency. Actually, with a sizable haul in free agency. Of course, they do have money, but they didn't throw it around as much as one might think. They're still in this rebuilding phase. They finished last year. But they added a good bat in Jorge Soler. He's a guy I really wanted on my Reds. But, hey, happy to see him hit some tanks at the Angels Stadium of Anaheim. Is that what it's still called? Then they got Yusei Kikuchi. Probably paid him a little bit too much money for my liking. But a good arm. Not denying that. Going to be their ace. So they have Yusei Kikuchi. They got Kenley Jansen, who I thought had fallen off a little bit, but Fangraphs still has him as a top closer in the league that'll put up some numbers this year. So he's going to be their closer. And then they signed a couple guys in free agency that were once really good, but maybe can rekindle some magic. Yohan Moncada, who was going to be a stud for the White Sox, but then kind of fell off a little bit. And then they got Kyle Hendricks, who Cubs pitcher, Cubs legend, 86-mile-an-hour legend. Like watching him pitch. They did lose Carlos Estevez, by the way. I think they lost him to the Mets. He was kind of their closing piece last year. And then they lost Patrick Sandoval, who was an upcoming starter, who they really liked. But I don't think either of those losses are too devastating. Estevez was 31 or 32, and Sandoval was, he's okay. Best of luck to him. First off, we got the king, Mike Trout, certified Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, has kind of fallen off due to injuries. Very sad these past few years, but he's moving to right field now. Maybe his injury history can be behind him and he can go back to raking, kind of like the old Mike Trout always did. He's projected for 3.6 WAR. Obviously not going to play that much of an impact in the outfield as he has in the past, but 506 slug is really good. 28 home runs. I would aim for more if I'm a fan of Mike, but 3.6 WAR. Zach Neto. He had shoulder surgery, over the offseason in November, but they hope for him to be back by opening day. He's projected to have 3.6 WAR. Put up 5 WAR last year in his kind of breakout year, so they're projecting a little bit of a down year for Neto, but still, he's their everyday shortstop. He's their guy. Campbell University product. Shout out Camels. Then we got Taylor Ward, who is a raker. Another guy who I wish that the Reds would have tried to make a claim for, but he's always going to put up some numbers for you. 2.5 WAR out there in left field. Almost a 750 OPS. Then you got Ohapi, who my friend Vlad says is a potential top 5 to 7 catcher in the league if he plays his cards right. Another guy who's going to be hitting around 750 OPS, 20 home runs, 2 WAR. Solid for a catcher. Has a lot of upside. Logan Ohapi. Then you got the pitchers. Both of their signings. Yusei Kikuchi. I was pretty impressed, to be honest, with these projections from Fangraphs. Going to eat about 170 innings with almost a 4 ERA and 2.7 WAR as their ace. And then Kenley Jansen is going to be their closer. I'm more impressed with one of their top prospects, Caden Dana. Don't know a lot about. He's a 78th overall guy. Could be up this year, but reading articles about Christian Moore, the second baseman out of Tennessee, and watching him play last year in college for the Volunteers. I'm really impressed by this guy. Kind of the same age as I am, 22. Ron Washington, who is on the roster, by opening day this year, 2025, in about a month. And last season, finished last in the AOS at 63 wins, 99 losses, just below that 100 mark. We both think that they're going to improve. Fangraphs is a little bit higher on them than we are, putting them at 77 and 85. We have them 70 and 92. We had a little bit of a mix within our group, but this is our consensus here. Our MVP is Mike Trout. We also considered putting Zach Neto. But overall, apologies to Angels fans. It's all love. But we just don't think that this team is very good this year. Obviously, good future with pieces like Moore, Neto, controlling that middle infield. But really, a bat like Soler, maybe Moncada can step up and have kind of a bounce back year, kind of that 1-year deal, prove it type of thing. But personally, we just don't think this team is that deep. Their pitching leaves a lot to be desired. And even their lineup, yes, there's some pieces on there that are not so great. Their best player is an aging Trout. Honestly, we don't think that this team is that good, and it might take a little while, Angels fans, but stay up. We appreciate you watching. If you're an Angels fan, leave a comment. If you're not and you're excited for the MLB season, let us know. Be safe.